Disclaimer. This is the Quibbcast.
It is about four nerds who don't want to live in the real world.
So we decided to make one of our own.
Literally, make one of our own. The Quibbcast. It's the Quibbcast. It's the Quibbler podcast.
Hello, I'm Jack.
Hello, I'm Sarah.
I'm Alice.
Hello, I'm Grace.
And welcome to the Quibbcast.
Yay! Should we just get started?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. First things first, Sarah, we've got some quick fire questions for you.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
You have to answer them as quick as you can. You're not allowed to think and do not elaborate. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Sarah, first question. Who's the best doctor?
Anytime.
Okay. War of the Worlds. The book, film, or musical? What's
Musical.
better? What colour lightsaber would you have?
Green.
Okay. What is the best alien in all of science fiction?
Oh.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Eating.
Alright. Final question. What is the best science fiction film of all time? 5, 4, 3.
Cricket.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, that's a way to open.
Yeah, that was
Makes me
fun.
Panic.
That's always good. So I think today we want to go into a bit more about geek theatre in general. Yeah. So tell me, guys, why geek theatre? Why do we do it? Where to start?
Well,
What else would we do?
yeah,
When we kind of started out in the creative process, doing geek theatre was not even on the table,
No.
really. We had a completely different
It all
idea.
started, didn't it, with something completely different.
Yeah, so
With you and me as well. It was,
yeah,
it was just me and you.
quoting vines, I think, or something like that, weren't we?
Mm.
Something?
Mm-mm.
Were we not?
No,
Go right back to the beginning.
go right back to the
What were
beginning.
you originally going to do, man?
Originally, we wanted to make a piece about sex.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
We wanted
We
to
did.
make, we wanted to try and make a piece about funny things and try and battle a stigma there.
Not
Yeah,
And then we
romantic
realised that we were just way too awkward and actually couldn't do that.
Yeah.
No.
And then that's when we involved you
Yeah.
as well. When we realised maybe we need a third person for that idea.
Because
And then it's when we had that first concept meeting
yeah.
and we kind of went, right, what do we actually want to do? And then we just started watching Vine.
Yeah.
That's
I
how
was
it
going to say,
started.
we started watching vines and like, oh, yes, I want
So
that.
basically, you decided that you weren't going to do any work and you were just going to sit and watch vines all day. Is that?
No.
That's a lot of work.
So we've done a load. We've done a load and we've written a load of things
Mm.
down. And I think we all just kind of sat there and went, it's not really taking us where we want to go. It's not, we haven't got that spark of like, oh my god, that's the one. And then I think it was where we just kind of was like, right, let's take a break. Let's come back fresh. We watched a couple of vines and I think one of us just went, this is what we should do.
I think that was you, actually. I think you were the one who said, I think this is what we should do.
Yeah.
Just be complete nerds and actually
Yeah.
do what we love.
Mm.
See, people around me.
No, yeah.
And then it just all evolved from there, didn't it? Really?
Yeah,
Kind of went.
kind of did. We went down quite a lot of different paths, really.
Yeah.
I think the first thing that we knew what we were going to do was we knew we wanted music in it.
Mm.
We knew that we wanted it to quite. We didn't want it to definitely be pop culture, but we knew that it was
Yeah.
going to like. We knew that we wanted to include the music of all the different genres because that was
Was
one
that
of the
first
main.
thing
That's
we
already
worked
there,
with
isn't
was
it?
music, is we kind of went, right, what do we know? So there's film, there's book, there's TV, there's music.
Yeah.
And then we eventually got video games, anime, and all of that. But our kind of core four,
Mhm.
our core four was music, film, TV, and books.
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially.
Little book woman.
But
Yeah.
that's kind of how we got there.
Yeah, and then but obviously it evolved
Mm.
kind of as we were making it. So it wasn't just automatically geek theatre, just as most things aren't automatically anything. It had to go through a creative process to actually become
Long
a
process.
very long process. And sometimes obviously it was really kind of difficult because we knew what we wanted to do, but we just didn't. Sometimes I don't think we really knew
Yeah.
how to do it.
It
Like-
was how to make it accessible.
Yeah, so quite a lot. So I'm pretty sure up until 2 weeks before we had loads of Vine references in it.
Yeah.
And then in the final performance there was virtually none.
There was like 2 or 3, if that.
And
the
even
main
then
one
that was in the overlapping text
Yeah.
that we had at
That
the
we
end.
hadn't taken out. That we just kind of
Yeah.
realised at the last minute, oh, we've not taken that out. But it
I
did.
think that was actually the beginning point, really, wasn't it?
Mm.
So we kind of got together and we were like, right, okay, so to begin
What
with,
are our favourite?
what are our favourite things and what are the beginnings of those favourite things? So what is the beginning text?
It's a
Is
real
it
good
music?
way to start a piece, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really? What is the beginning of all of your other favourite pieces?
Yeah.
Let's rip that off.
No, yeah, so that actually ended up being the last bit,
Yeah.
which was quite interesting. But I think it kind of worked out quite nicely that way.
Well, it was, like we had so many different medias in it. So we had, the original song that's not actually that original, but it's still quite original. We have the dance that we ended up scrapping. We have like a multitude of other things that we didn't use that we loved.
Mm.
And it wasn't, like you said, it wasn't until about 2 weeks before, really, where we sat down and went, actually, I think we have the outline of a performance.
Yeah.
And then it was just a case of moving things around and doing it. Yeah.
I remember because when we first began, one of the first things to happen was I was kind of running through the doors, shouting "Troll in
Yeah.
the dungeon." I thought you ought to know. And then that incidentally automatically just became the name of our piece, which I think is quite kind of interesting.
Yeah,
The fact
it's
that
not there.
that's what it's not there. It's what we started with. It's not there anymore, but it's in the title instead.
It's
So I
also
think
the only Harry Potter reference that you had, and then it got removed.
Yeah.
There's a couple of smaller Harry Potter references, but other than that, kind of it.
I was also thinking, do you guys mind just elaborating a bit more on what geek theatre actually is? It's the fact that we've actually properly covered that.
It's very difficult to describe. It's not a thing. I mean, it is a thing.
Quite a broad thing.
Yeah, it's something that I think as a company, we're still trying to learn what it is. We know that it's a concept and we have a kind of very broad understanding of it.
At the minute, I'm trying to write an essay about it, really, about what it actually is. And as I'm writing it, I'm like, is it really what I'm saying it is, or is it something completely different? So I wrote for another university project, we had to do some kind of media output, and Sarah was responsible for the website. Jack did a comic book, and I did a kind of like a script,
Like a how-to
how-to
guide.
guide to make geek theatre, and it was actually quite satirical, really, when I think
Yeah.
back on it, because like I had the 5 steps, and the first step was to have interests, the second step was to have friends. It's like, so it was quite satirical in that way, and I feel like that's almost what geek theatre is.
Yeah.
It's quite
It's really, really hard to kind of describe as a form because at the moment there isn't a form. There's no rules, really. I think the only rule that you've got is that to be able to perform a piece of geek theatre, you have to be doing it on something you love, something that you know a lot about, and something that is hard to access as a normal person in society. Normal being used as a very broad term. But for example, it doesn't have to be a performance about comic books or TV shows or whatever. It could be a performance about trains. Train spotters are people that, we think they're weird and whatever, but actually there is a logic, there is a deeper understanding. So if you want to make a performance about train spotting,
Not to be confused with
not to be confused with the film, that's very different. But it's something that you could do. You can turn your niche thing into something that actually other people can enjoy and they can experience your world. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Creating a world. We say at the beginning of the piece, you know, we made our own world. And that's what we
Yeah.
did, and we showed you into our world. I think that's the aim, really.
I feel like it's I wouldn't say it was important, but one of the main features is obviously the whole pop culture reference, the intertextuality of
Yeah.
us morphing together all the different kind of media things that we've kind of done. And I feel like Sarah said, if you wanted to make a performance about trains, I think that one way is obviously we wanted to try and make it accessible for the audience to be able to relate to it. Almost, I feel like you'd have to have that element of pop culture in it. So even if it's just a reference to something like the Railway Children,
Thomas the Tank Engine.
anything like that, really, either the engine, whatever you want.
But it gives you a way in.
Yeah, it gives the audience an access point to kind of hook onto, and from then really, you're kind of on your way.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of elements that go into it. You've got nostalgia. That seems to have been a big part of ours.
There was a lot of feedback
It's-
from the audience was how nostalgic your piece
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
And it's maybe, you know, I mean, you're never going to have seen everything that we may have seen. I've not seen things that these guys haven't seen.
So we admitted last episode we've not seen the Truman Show.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've not seen, you know, half of the things that I've never watched Lord of the Rings. I've watched 72 minutes of Lord of the Rings and then got bored.
We are working on that.
I just don't have a
Better
very.
be.
I don't do well with films, but you know, it's things like that. I don't understand Lord of the Rings, but I could take part in it. And I could make fun of, not of it, but I could have fun with it. You know, I was involved in the part of the performance where we did Lord of the Rings because I was allowed into that world, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't know what it was, but I was having fun.
Red wig as a beard.
I wore a red wig as a beard, and I think my name was Gimli.
Well done. Go on, Jack.
No, it's fine. I think
Have a chance.
in terms of us as a company dealing with the topic of geek theatre as well as the podcast in general is we're discussing what is viewed as a niche kind of thing, why it is so relevant today. If you just look at the film industry, there's a bizarre flux in superheroes in terms of a topic I'm interested in, but there's also the idea that that's a big market itself. So there's a reason why that's popular. There's a reason why science fiction, fantasy, and superheroes has become quite a popular genre to tackle, whether it be, as a musical, a TV show, or a film. That is what we're trying to tackle. I think as a company is a commentary on why is it popular, why is there an interest. Why are we interested in it, and why do we want to represent it on stage for you? For an audience to go, I understood that reference. Because when we did the original performance, that's a lot of response that we got, where we had people come up to us and go, I got that reference. And,
There was when people said they got every single reference,
and you know you're lying.
and I knew they were like,
You were like Lost in Space. Come at me.
Yeah, and then
There were like supernatural and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I claim to have watched all the Star films. You know what I mean?
But like even like when we were about to perform it as well, we had one person that I talked to mostly who was talking about Terminator, Predator, and what's the other one? Aliens. Yeah, but like it was that discussion almost immediately before a performance, and there's some kind of connection where people have to talk about it because that for them is part of their life, and if it's part of their life, I think that's worth discussing because it's part of that maybe society at the time or society now. But I think in terms of this kind of what is considered niche, we're trying to make a commentary on why it can't be niche, because if people know it, then it's popular enough to be learnt, and if it's popular enough to be learnt, then it should in turn be commented on for how it's so necessary.
So, on another point, I actually think another kind of area that geek theatre covers is joy, and the idea of spreading joy and allowing people to understand why the things that make us so happy and our escapes and our our worlds, if you will, why we love them, and letting us letting us share it with people. I think that's a big part of it. You could do a performance about, you know, Spider-Man, and you could sit there and you could go, Spider-Man's great, Spider-Man's awesome, Spider-Man's the best thing in the universe, but I don't care unless you give me a reason to care. And I don't see your joy. If I don't see you enjoying it and your pure bliss at being able to tell people about the thing you love, there's no point.
It's like that joy is often what gets people to then go and watch or play or read the thing that you're talking about.
Well, that's what happened afterwards. Though. We did get feedback of people going and watching a film or reading a book.
Yeah.
And it's like, for example, there's the bit with Avatar: The Last Airbender. A lot of sort of the guys that we know from outside who'd come and seen it had said, you know, that they'd watched it like a couple of years beforehand, and they were suddenly reminded of how much they loved this thing, and they went back and rewatched the entire series, and obviously the add-on and stuff. And I think that's really nice as well to sort of remind people that that thing existed and that it's still available for them to go and participate in. It's like, I recently went back and replayed all the Star Wars Lego games, and it just reminded me of how much fun and joy there was there. And I think that's something that you guys really convey nicely in that performance.
So if we could sum up Geek Theatre in a sentence then. So I think that was a very long description.
That's why we said it's quite broad.
But if we were to sum up what it is now, what we think it might be now, what would you sum it up as?
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry, no, you go
sorry.
ahead. No.
I was just going to say fun, accessible, and cool. At least I think it's cool.
I would say, in terms of geek theatre, it's fun commentary about relevancy in this type of culture that has arisen today.
A work in progress, analysing things that people love.
I think I would say joy, love, and nostalgia.
And that's how they made the Powerpuff Girls.
I was going to say, what's the that really like overused quote that's on everyone's living room? It's like
Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love.
No judgment.
What it is. Yeah, if that's on your living room wall, just know that you are a complete stereotype.
As a way.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? It's okay to be stereotyped. And sometimes it's not.
You okay with that?
Just deep in thought now.
Okay, so before we move on, I think it's time for another round of quickfire questions. Jack, you're under the gun. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What's better, comics or films?
Comics.
MCU or DC?
Marvel.
Okay, your favourite female superhero?
Oh, yes. Wonder Woman.
Oh.
Yeah.
Heroes or anti-heroes?
Ooh. Heroes.
Okay, and what useless power would you have?
Probably being able to spell properly. Even if I could, I couldn't do that.
It's coming to you next. Are you ready for your quickfire questions?
Absolutely.
Okay, number one, what would be the first thing that you would say to JR? Hello. What sort of, if you could be in any fantasy universe, which one would you like to be in existing?
Poison City.
Okay. What kind of dinosaur do you think you'd be?
Stigma.
Alright, if you could pick any three characters to have over for a dinner party, who would they be?
Ian Malcolm. As Space Star. Peregrine Took and
5, 4.
Ari from Poison City.
Ooh. And finally, if you could have any creatures for a pet, what would you have? That was very serious. The eye contact there was unreal. I think we should move on to another conversation. So the next thing that I wanted us to talk about is something that you actually touched upon last episode, Alice, about why we're doing this podcast. Obviously, you mentioned how we don't really have much time, so this is a good way for us to stay relevant and stay caught up with each other. We all have full-time jobs, but should we talk a little bit more about this podcast and why we want to do it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think for all of us, we're all working kind of in excess of 37.5 hours.
Full-time adults.
Yeah. I know for me, I work every day, Monday to Friday. So I've got a 9 till 5 job in an office with office clothes. It's not the most creative thing in the world, so it's really difficult to actually have a creative outlet. So this is great for that.
My shifts are pretty much unknown, essentially.
So,
I don't really get my rota until 3 or 4 days in advance before the week happens, and so it's quite a struggle to kind of organise a time for all of us to get together to rehearse, because I don't know what I'm going to be doing within a week, so it's really kind of difficult. The only way that I can kind of express myself through art in my job is latte art, really. That's literally the only thing, and it's
all comes out looking like dicks, doesn't it?
yeah, like I will either do a really, really beautiful leafy plant, or it's a penis. There's no between.
I mean, I get to colour code spreadsheets. It's fantastic.
No, yeah, like I feel like that's the area that I can actually express my art in my job. Like, you know, sometimes we have music on in the cafe, and you know, I just kind of dance around if there's no customers there. Even if there are customers there, I'll still probably dance around. But that's not really expressing my art. That's just me trying to not succumb to the basic depression of having a 37.5 hour job. So,
Yep, fully there.
So although to be fair, my job is in an art centre.
I was gonna say it's not like you're not.
No,
near
so
art.
I'm surrounded by art, but I don't really have the chance to interact with it.
I'm surrounded by fields. I'm in the middle of nowhere with no one.
Mine's a weird one because I don't have like a theatrical creative outlet within my job. It's not like I'm necessarily performing, but then I could kind of make the argument that I could be. So I work as a bartender doing cocktails. I get a creative outlet of being able to design my own cocktails, and I get the sort of structure of having to know the specs and having to know everything that it is I'm doing. So I've got structure in my job, but there's also a bit more freedom there. And obviously, everyone likes watching a bartender make cocktails. Even if they're not very good at it, it's still like, oh, look, they're doing the thing where they shake it. Yeah. And like, as much as I'm not the sort of person that's, you know, throwing the bottles around and free pouring shots over my head, it's still like, oh, look, they're doing the thing where they shake the cocktail. That's really interesting. And I think that gives me the sort of element of performance without any actual performance. And again, with the creative outlet, like designing cocktails and stuff is nice, but it's still not theatre. So coming back to something that I love and something that I'm really involved in with my friends is nice as well, I think, for me.
Sorry, I had to cough. For me, I work in retail, so in terms of creative output, there isn't like many. I suppose as working in retail, you are a salesman. You're meant to sell what you're given to sell. In my case, it's clothes. Female clothes, because our store only does female. So as a man, it's a little bit difficult to be like, yeah, this looks great, because I've got this one at home. Yeah, I'm wearing it right now. It's a bit more difficult as a selling pitch. So in terms of an outlet for creativity, it's slightly there, but not to the extent I would like it. For me, I'm like a lot of performers and actors. I'm trying to get an agent, so that involves a lot of time dedicated to it, like show reels and then send off to agencies, and they will decide whether or not they want you, and that goes back and forth. So it's nice to have this form of outlet to talk about the work, to talk about theatre, to talk about performance in general, with this kind of freedom to talk about geek culture as well. So there's something I'm interested in on top of talking it through a professional type of industry. So for me, it's a really healthy way to keep what I've done 3 years of hard work and graft to put that to good use.
See, I think that's interesting as well because we all differ in sort of not necessarily end goals, but we all love doing this and we all want to stay as the Quibblers and make theatre and work together and all that. But we also have, in the nicest way, some sort of sad, adult, realistic goals as well that are sort of side options. But you are quite interested in pursuing acting.
Yeah.
And being an actor as well as doing this sort of theatre. And they're two very different kinds of things. Whereas I think us three, we don't really have that desire to be an actor as such. We just
I like doing it as a hobby.
Yeah, like I'd happily go and do like an Amdram NT piece and just have a bit of fun with it. But as a professional career, I don't think that's something that I'm interested in pursuing anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm kind of a bit the same. I mean, just as kind of like you guys know, I much prefer to be off stage than on. I prefer to be out of the limelight, kind of the outside eye. And I mean, obviously it was quite different for Thought You Ought to Know, but that was different because I actually enjoyed performing. That was genuinely the first kind of performance in a long time that I've thoroughly enjoyed every single second of me performing it. And I think it's difficult to get a job as an actor because there's so little to actually do, and there's so little things to actually do. But I feel like being an outside eye is even more difficult because per one director you have 20 actors, so it's a bit. I'm finding it a bit more difficult to kind of do that kind of thing as well. You see what I mean?
I think I just kind of not grew up, but I kind of, as I went through my life, I realised, why do I want to be someone else when I could be me on the stage and tell my story and make something that actually I don't want to sit and do Shakespeare because Shakespeare's been dead quite a time.
You don't care what you're doing.
And quite honestly, Shakespeare doesn't really speak for me as a nerdy lesbian. It doesn't really fit. It doesn't fit who I am. I'm never going to be cast as Juliet ever. It's never going to happen unless it's
female production.
Yeah, unless it was a complete rewrite. I'd never be a Juliet or a Phoebe or it wouldn't happen. So why try and be what everyone wants to be, a blonde, skinny, average looking person, when I can be myself and create something that's actually awesome.
And I think what's really cool about what we do as well is that we're not just actors or performers, we also get to direct. We also produce all of our work with our technicians, so we do all the behind the scenes stuff. We have full control pretty much over what it is we do. Obviously, like, space is limiting, but I think when you're an actor, you have a role, you have a character that's written a certain way, and as much as you can play around with that, you've still got certain rules to follow and certain things. But when we create our own rules.
Sometimes it's absolutely fantastic being able to step into someone else's shoes.
Yeah.
Be a character and fit that. And don't get me wrong, I love doing that. And it's the thing that I did my entire life before going to uni. I thought it was what I wanted to do, but actually, I think there's space for both.
Yeah.
Which I think Jack is showing quite nicely.
Yeah. On a bit of a tangent, what do you guys think? Because I don't really get to see the general public in my job. I'm tucked away in an office somewhere. But you three all deal with the public. You get to see people every day. Do you think that there is some element of performance in that? Because I know I've worked in retail. I've seen people, and I know that I put on a bit of a persona when I've been in a shop working. It's not me, but it's a bit of a performance. What do you think?
Yeah, I've kind of, as I've said, I've already kind of touched on it, so I'll just sort of carry on. I think different. I'm the same person on stage, in person, and behind the bar, but they're all tweaked so that they're different sort of attitudes and I'm viewed slightly differently. But if I act the way at home, if I act the way behind the bar as I do when I'm at home, I'm not going to get any tips. Whereas if I stand there and smile and shake, my Boston, not my body. But I'm much
That's
more.
a different job.
Yeah, well, talk about that one. No, but I think I'm much more inclined to succeed, and I think the relationships that I have with my colleagues differs when there's customers in front of us, and I think it's for all of us. It's about sort of tweaking who we are depending on who's there. That's just
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like if there's no customers around, because I get along with my colleagues really quite well. If there's no customer around, we won't use swear words, obviously, because obviously we're in a public place or anything like that. We won't talk about anything vulgar, but we do genuinely just have a fun time. But then as soon as customers are around, you automatically put up, not necessarily a facade, but it's more of a
Subdued version.
more of a subdued version of yourself. Yeah. And it's just kind of like, okay, I have to be cheery because that's what they're expecting. I have to be cheery because that's what's in my job contract.
you have to laugh at their jokes.
I've actually had a job before where it was written into my contract, but I had to smile constantly. That's genuinely a thing that I had in a contract.
You see, we've just had training where you kind of have to, when the customer comes up, you're not supposed to look at them directly. You're supposed to stand side on to make you not seem opposing or threatening. And I'm like, mate, I'm 5'1". How am I going to be opposing to anyone?
Just have your hand up to your eyes. Do you want anything?
See, that really contradicts us because the second a customer walks in, we're supposed to be like, hello, welcome to place I work. How can we help you today? Would you like to come and get a drink? Have you got a table already booked? Hello? Like dancing in their faces, and I think that's a really weird thing because we're in kind of similar jobs. We're both in hospitality, and it's odd.
I was kind of like not to be too overbearing, but just be helpful. So if you kind of like, it's not as though like we're not supposed to say, "Hi, you alright? What can I get for you? What would you want?" That kind of stuff. But it's more of a thing where you kind of go, try not to be too opposing because the kind of people that we get in are varying ages. So some people in the 90s, some people 5 years old. It will change them in the day. But the reason why why we're doing this podcast is simply because it allows us to kind of do what we want to do. And it allows us to do what we want to do and say what we want to say without that kind of facade, and actually allows us as a group of friends to actually meet up and talk about the stuff that we're going to talk about as well. Because it's not just necessarily meeting up and doing a podcast that's important to us. Essentially, it's meeting up and actually being able to maintain our level of friendship that we've had since uni.
As well, it's nice to be able to talk about something I genuinely enjoy. I don't like. It's very rare to be in a job that you genuinely go, "This is my dream job." And I think everyone will kind of attest to that. No one's going to be 100% happy in their job unless you're doing literally your dream. And it's nice to kind of have a break from the everyday and go, do you know what, let's talk about the thing that we are passionate about. And it's instead of meeting up for 6 weeks and trying to create a performance, which we know we're not going to be able to do when we're working full time, it's going, okay, how can we channel our creativity into something that's going to be nerdy, that's going to be fun, that's going to be geek theatre and quibblers, and let's take it into a podcast because it's somewhere to put our creativity.
Yeah. I think for us, when we were performers and when we were doing our uni degree, we had to have a post-performance discussion which would be very much direct to what we were creating, what we were trying to create, what we were hoping the audience would respond to it, and what possibly might not respond to it. And while that was a good outlet for us to discuss it, the freedom with this podcast is the fact that we get to be quite free-flowing. We get to kind of just discuss rather than just forward articulate what our intentions were. So the podcast allows us the freedom just to talk about particularly general ideas that we may elaborate on during this same podcast, or maybe and then elaborate on later.
Oh my
You know, I know, right?
I mean, it's just nice. It's
Yeah.
really, I don't think I've ever listened to a podcast and it's nice.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've listened to nerdy podcasts. I've
Mhm.
really listened.
Well, I mean, if you put the nerdy one in your left ear and the theatre one in your right ear and just hope for the best, it might sync up.
Sure.
But it's nice to have this conversation rather than be like, this is our point. And there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think.
No.
But I feel like it's
It's
just
nice.
nice to just talk.
And it's nice to not get marked on what we're saying.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah. It's like trying to remember all these theories.
Yeah.
Intertextuality, yes. Give me an extra point.
And bearing in mind which lecture you're in front of
Yeah.
and what kind of language you can use. Like
Yeah.
when you say, am I allowed to swear? They say no, and then you straight away go, ah, shit. Like, you know what I mean? It's one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So to end this episode, we've got the last quickfire round for Grace. Number one. What is your favourite video game character?
Oh, Lady Maria from Bubble.
What is your favourite type of video game?
Oh, don't do that to me. It depends on the day. Something challenging.
If you are stuck in a video game world, which one would you want to be stuck in?
They're all hell. Ratchet and Clank.
Okay. What is your favourite Let's Player?
My favourite Let's Play. Retry.
Okay. And finally, which side of the Force would you be on?
That is such a hard question to answer.
5, 4, 3.
Hopefully the light side.
And that concludes the second episode of Quibbcast.
Mm. We ended on stressing Grace.
Cheers.
Right. Okay.
As usual, let us know what you thought of this episode.
Mm.
If there's anything that you'd like us to talk about or any questions, hit us up.
Like, subscribe, and
Check out the links in the description.
share that one.
Comment.
Ring that bell.
That's one.
And ring the bell.
Ring the
Yeah,
bell.
ring the bell.
Ring
That is
the
a
bell.
new thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do that.
Yeah. I can hear the bells.
Okay, copy strikes away.
That would imply that we actually get any sort of ad revenue. So.
No, but I can just take the video.
There you go.
No one cares about copyright laws. More on that next time.
We love you, YouTube.
And on that note,
Bye.
bye.